It is 9:02 a.m. You may call the meeting to order.
Good morning, colleagues, staff, members of the public. It is 9 a.m., 9:02 a.m. on January 13th, 2026, and we are calling this regular meeting of the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors to order. We will start with having the clerk of the board provide information on how the public can participate.
Members of the public, the instructions to participate in today's meeting can be found on the published agenda. These instructions provide information on how to submit written comments and also how to participate via Zoom. Live interpretation of this entire meeting will be provided in Spanish. To access the live interpretation services in Zoom via laptop or computer, please click the interpretation globe icon and select the Spanish language. If you're using a smartphone or tablet, please locate the three-dot menu, select interpretation, then select the Spanish language, and finally click done. At this time, I'll ask our interpreter, Victor Hernandez, to provide these instructions in Spanish.
Thank you, Kim. Good morning, President Corzo, honorable supervisors, Mr. Callaghy, Mr. Niblin, Mr. Ely, all county staff, members of the public, Victor Hernandez, Spanish interpreter. Buenos días, les queremos dejar saber a todos los miembros del público que las instrucciones para poder participar en la reunión de hoy se pueden encontrar en lo que es en el orden que ya ha sido publicado. Estas instrucciones dan información de cómo presentar comentarios, tanto escrito y también por Zoom. Ahora, también les queremos dejar saber que se les proporcionará interpretación de toda esta reunión en vivo y en español para poder acceder al servicio de interpretación en vivo por Zoom, ya sea con una computadora o una portátil. Usted tendrá que hacer clic en lo que es un icono de un globo, es decir, un mundo terráqueo que aparecerá al fondo de su pantalla y después seleccione el idioma en español. Ahora, si usted está usando un teléfono inteligente o una tableta, busque lo que es el menú de 3 puntos, seleccione interpretación y luego seleccione el idioma español y por último usted tendrá que hacer clic en done o listo. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you for those instructions. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We will now have roll call.
Supervisor Spear? Supervisor Mueller?
Here.
Supervisor Gaucher?
Here.
Supervisor Canaba?
Here.
President Corzo?
Here.
All present.
Thank you. We will now move on to honoring the life of and board member remarks. Do any supervisors have comments or anything they'd like to share? Okay, seeing none. I have a few brief comments, and I'd like to take a moment to honor the life of Varun Sharma, a Foster City resident who was killed by a driver while walking near his home on November 20th. Varun was born in Punjab and lived in Singapore before immigrating to the U.S. and working at Visa for over 10 years. He was just 44 when he passed away on November 29th, and everyone... and his family is at a great loss with his departure, and have made sure that he has made it home to where he grew up. I'd also like to honor the life of Renee Nicole Macklin Good, who was killed by ICE agents in Minneapolis this past week, and I would like to honor her by reading an excerpt from the statement of her wife, Becca Good. First, I want to extend my gratitude to all the people who have reached out across the country and around the world to support our family. This kindness of strangers is the most fitting tribute, because if you ever encountered my wife, Renee Nicole Macklin Good, you know that above all else, she was kind. In fact, kindness radiated out of her. Renee sparkled. She literally sparkled. She didn't wear glitter, but I swear she had sparkles coming out of her pores all the time. Renee lived by an overarching belief: there is kindness in the world, and we need to do everything we can to find it where it resides and nurture it where it needs to grow. Renee was a Christian who knew that all religions teach the same essential truth. We are here to love each other, care for each other, and keep each other safe and whole. Renee leaves behind 3 extraordinary children, the youngest 6 years old. And we honor her memory by living her values, rejecting hate and choosing compassion, turning away from fear and pursuing peace, refusing division and knowing we must come together to build a world where we all come home safe to the people we love. Thank you. And next, I'd like to read a quick land acknowledgement. We honor and affirm the rights of the Ohlone and the other indigenous peoples who call the unceded territories of the San Francisco Bay Area their traditional homeland. They are the descendants of the village sites that are seen and unseen. We pay respect to the ancestors, elders, and relatives of indigenous peoples for their historic and current contributions to San Mateo County. And we commit to an ongoing effort to bring about healing, inclusivity, and deeper collaborative partnerships. Thank you. And with that, seeing no comments from my colleagues, we'll move on to public comment. This is a portion of the agenda that is set aside for members of the public to comment on matters that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors, but that are not on the agenda for today's meeting. For matters that are listed on the consent agenda and for matters that are set for closed session. And I'd like to share that we will be increasing public comment to 1.5 minutes with the caveat that if there are more than 5 public comments for an item, it will stay at 1 minute in the interest of time. Finally, if a speaker does go over time, I will give them a warning or 2 before I ask the clerk to cut the mic, and this is to ensure equity of voice for all of our public comments. Does this sound okay for with my colleagues? Yes. Okay. Thank you. And with that, we will move on to public comment.
We have received written comments which were submitted and provided to the president and board members as well as the public website. Reminder to those wanting to speak on items 1 through 6, please hold those comments until those items come up individually. We'll take comments first from Chambers and then from Zoom. Right now we have 1 speaker card for Kate Comfort Har.
Okay, 1.5 minutes. I'm going to try. Good morning, President of the Board, Corzo, and Supervisors. I am Kate Comfort Har, and I have lived and worked in San Mateo County for 35 years, and I have been Executive Director of HIP Housing for almost 15. It's calendar time, and for those of you who don't know us that well, HIP Housing is an affordable housing provider that has helped low-income individuals in San Mateo County to find and maintain housing for, 53 years. So we've been around for a while. We're in all 21 housing elements as a way to provide fair housing choice and also as a affordable housing partner. Last year, we provided housing assistance to 4,000 individuals and housed 1,200 low-income people in homes throughout the county. But today, I am here to share our calendar. This is our annual calendar, and it's very important because it allows children to share how important housing is to them. We ask kindergartners through 5th graders to draw a picture of what home means to them and then provide us also with a quote. Then we select 12. This year we've selected 14 from 10 different cities throughout San Mateo County, and we made the beautiful calendar that you should have in front of you. Lots of really great quotes this year. We're seeing more and more quotes about homelessness, like you'll see in the December entry. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I didn't even know about homelessness. So that it's on so many children's radars is pretty profound. I'd like to read you one quote that kind of symbolizes what the calendar is about and what it means to children, and that's from April. It says, "My home is the happiest wonderland. My home is my forever safe harbor." I hope you enjoy the calendar and that you display it proudly. It really does reinforce how important housing is to everybody in San Mateo County. And I'd be happy to take any questions about our programs. I have more comments, but I'm not gonna say it.
Thank you. We actually can't ask questions in public comment, so we'll move on to the next public comment.
All right. Thank you very much for your time today.
We have no more comments from chambers, so we'll go ahead and go to Zoom.
Thank you. And can I ask how many hands are raised on Zoom?
Sure, Madam President. At this time, we do have 5 hands raised, and we did just receive an additional comment card from from chambers. So we can take Edgar Ryan Silva at this time.
And just going forward, if we see 5 hands raised and we have one in person, then let's have them all at 1 minute. So if it's over 5, it'll be 1 minute.
Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Edgar Silva, and I'm here to speak about the killing of Renee Good during a federal ICE operation in Minneapolis and what her death represents for immigrant and other marginalized communities across this country, including right here in San Mateo County. Regardless of anyone's views on immigration policy, a civilian death at the hands of federal enforcement should force us to ask whether our systems are protecting people or pushing families into fear and instability. I also want to challenge a narrative that is often used to justify aggressive enforcement. The idea that immigrants are a burden on our economy. The reality is the opposite. Immigrant workers contribute tens of billions of dollars every year in state, federal, and local taxes, including Social Security and Medicare, that they will never be able to claim sometimes, just due to their documentation. They are a major part of the workforce that keeps our food affordable, our housing being built, our businesses open, and our local economy running. When people who work, pay taxes, and raise families here are treated as disposable or dangerous, it doesn't just harm them, it undermines the stability and trust of entire communities. I urge this board to expand legal defense and rapid response resources to support community safety and due process, and to reaffirm that everyone who lives here deserves dignity and respect. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now turn to Zoom comments, and we will start with Sabrina, followed by Martin Fox. Sabrina, please unmute and begin. And you'll have 1 minute.
Of course. My name is Sabrina. I come as one of the people of surrogates who hold all political power declared in California Constitution, Article 2, Section 1, and the U.S. Constitution Amendments 9 and 10. California Constitution, Article 3, Section 1, affirms the United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land, even though you love to violate it. Like a contractor who was contracted to remove a kitchen sink and replace a tile, you agree to the terms of the 51 Constitution by sworn oath. You have gone over the express grant of authority of the contract, and you have torn down the supporting walls, but you're hiring subcontractors to paint one wall with rainbow colors by damaging the others and letting squatters unconstitutionally inside our home, and to stop the legal actions to remove them. You continue the work outside of the constitutional grant authority and tearing away at the foundation, framework, and its structure. This board has continued their malfeasance and into administration into malfeasance and misprison by selecting and installing a sheriff, depriving the constitutional rights of the people. As in contract law, the people who have given you notices and affidavits allow you grace to make amends. But you continue to deprive the people of their right
Please
of
wrap
redress
up.
and violate the rights of the people. Each act is a felony of deprivation of rights, and 2 or more
One warning
citizens
has
Okay,
been
trespassing
given.
we're gonna
denied
end this
rights,
comment now.
the punishment is harsher and not covered by surety bonds.
Sabrina, the president has given 2 warnings. Thank you for your time. We will now
Yeah, and
go-
it's also unconstitutional. You guys are conspiring to deprive my rights. Note that for the
Okay.
record. It is going to be
And
prosecuted.
at this time, we will go ahead and cut your mic per instructions. Thank you, Sabrina, as your time has run out. We will now go to Martin Fox, followed by Andrew Boston. Martin, please unmute and begin.
Good morning, President Corso and my fellow veteran county attorney, Mr. Niblin, Supervisors Spear, Mueller, Gauthier, Canepa, and County Executive, Mr. Callaghy. Thank all of you for your service to the county. Please make the county safer and healthier for persons living with serious mental illness and their families by supporting the immediate reintroduction and passage of the repeal of the Landrum-Peters-Short Act as a top county state legislative priority and the immediate implementation of the rescission of the Landrum-Peters-Short Act. California's and San Mateo County's residents need a Dorothea Dix type of inspired, compassionate mental health treatment system, and the LPS Act's racist, dangerous, and grave disability treatment qualification criteria continues to kill people. Please make defunding the intellectually and morally bankrupt law foundation of Silicon Valley and Disability Rights California attorneys a top county federal legislative priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Andrew Boston, followed by Sid Young. Andrew, please unmute and begin.
Happy New Year, supervisors, and go Niners. I'm Andrew Boston from Savesville Cove. First, thank you to Supervisor Mueller for securing federal resources and for staying engaged with residents. That work has made a real difference, and it's appreciated. The recent Seal Cove geotechnical report does not say the neighborhood is facing imminent failure. It says land movement is measurable, variable, and highly sensitive to how water is managed. That matters. Leaking utilities, unmanaged stormwater, and deferred maintenance accelerate ground movement. Well-maintained pipes, drainage, and coordinated infrastructure slow it down. What residents are asking for is clarity and follow through, clear responsibility for infrastructure, proactive maintenance, and decisions grounded in observed conditions rather than broad assumptions. Precision protects everyone. It reduces risk, it protects public safety, and avoids unnecessary uncertainty for homeowners and future buyers. The recent federal funding shows what works: fix infrastructure, reduce exposure, and keep communities stable. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go to Sid Young, followed by Michelle Stevens. Sid, please unmute and begin.
Thank you. Please fund soundproofing at Ray Mueller's Coastside office. I noticed a lot of requests for Measure K, or I don't know how the county funds soundproofing, but it makes for better Zoom recording in public meetings. Also, please consider installing street lighting along Big Wave and Pillar Ridge portion of Airport Street. There have been many fatalities along there. The people of Pillar Ridge ride bicycles, and at night it's very dark along there. And now that you're approving the parking lot for Big Wave after 25 years of development, it's going to have more traffic, and I really think it's important that there's be some street lighting along there, because a lot of the people at Pillar Ridge ride bicycles for their main means of transportation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. We'll go to Michelle Stevens, followed by X. Michelle, please unmute and begin.
Hello, Board of Supervisors. I come to you as a child of God and one of the people. I come to you to remind you that California, just like every other state in the United States, is held accountable up underneath the Constitution. You are not separate. You cannot do things just because you want to. You need to read your Constitution, because the people are getting tired of it. You're going to be under scrutiny soon. You know it. I know it. The president's done said it. So my best suggestion to you is to make sure that you're doing everything under the Constitution. And right now, the big one that I see is you want to restrain people's freedom of speech, and you appointed a sheriff. That is unconstitutional in every state. California is no different than any other state.
You're over time now.
Thank you. Thank
One warning
you.
has been given. Thank you. We'll now go to X, followed by Bruce. X, please unmute and begin.
Yes, I just want to clarify that Renee Good was killed, not murdered. She was shot after her car hit an officer. People need to go find the video of the officer that he filmed showing that she hit him before he fired. A lot of these issues would be resolved if this county and other counties cooperated with ICE to remove pedophiles, murderers, and rapists. At that time that she was killed, they were going after a pedophile. I guess everybody that thinks it's a bad idea to go after legals supports pedophiles. So that's one thing. Second, the Sheriff's Oversight Commission, they removed Marco DeRozzo for allegedly missing 3 meetings in a row. He did not. However, 2 other people had missed 3 meetings in a row. I believe it was Rebecca and the youth commissioner. So why aren't they being removed if they've also missed 3 meetings in a row? I would like to see that resolved quickly. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll now go to Bruce, followed by our last speaker, Catherine Carter. Bruce, please unmute and begin.
Hello, board. Thank you for taking my comments here, and kudos to the comments prior to me. You know, when you put something in the motion, there's always a reaction to it, and that victim actually, it's unfortunate she lost her life and everything, but she was the one that actually created the motion. So anyway, you know, I'd like to touch base on the right to redress and opposition to deprivation of rights. You know, you guys actually have an obligation to listen to the people when they're talking to you, and that's actually per the California Constitution, text, history, and tradition. The original California Constitution, 1849, affirmed that all political power is inherent to people and that the government exists to secure their rights, not to condition or diminish them. From its founding, California recognized the right of the people to petition and seek redress for grievances as a fundamental safeguard against maladministration. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll go to Catherine Carter. Catherine, please unmute and begin.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, I'm Catherine Carter, one of the people exercising. This is not a comment. I'm exercising my right to petition you under the California Constitution to redress grievances. My grievance is this. The government is or ought to be instituted for the common benefits, protection, and security of the people, nation, or community. Of all the various modes and forms of government, that is best which is capable of producing the greatest degree of happiness and safety, and is most effectually secured against the danger of maladministration. Your form of government is not the Republican form of government we're guaranteed, and therefore it puts you in danger of maladministration. I suggest that you rectify this and recognize your duly elected sheriff right now and get rid of the one that you just appointed and superimposed on the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we have one more hand raised, so I will go ahead and call that now, Madam President. Dave C-NJ. And we have an additional hand also being raised at this time for Pat W.
This will be the final call.
Thank you, Madam President. This is a final call to raise your hand for public comment. Final call has been made, and these will be the last two speakers. Dave C., please proceed, unmute, and begin.
Hi, I just want to make a note. The corporate charter, as defined by the Black's Law Dictionary, is a charter differs from a constitution in that the former, aka the charter, is granted by the sovereign, which is the people, while the latter, the Constitution, is established by the people themselves. And the San Mateo Charter, Section 206, Powers and Duties, the Board of Supervisors shall have all powers and shall perform all the duties vested in it by the Constitution, general law of this charter. And if we look at the redress of grievances, the redress, the meaning of that in Black's Law Dictionary is receiving satisfaction for an injury sustained. And I believe removing the duly elected sheriff by the people.
Please wrap up. You're at time now.
If you remove the duly elected sheriff by the people, that is against the Constitution.
This is your final warning. Please wrap up.
That's it.
Thank you, Dave. Our last speaker, Pat W. Please proceed.
Thank you. 4 or 5 years ago, a law enforcement officer shot to death a man who was in Danville. Sorry. The man was driving his car. The law enforcement officer stepped in front of the car and shot and killed the driver. At a conversation with the that time chief of police of Redwood City, policy is what was violated by the ICE agent. The policy is that when the engine is running on a car, the officer does not, for his own safety, step in front of the car. And secondly, they do not reach into the car to try to unlock the door. Both those things are violation of common police practices.
Pat, you're at time.
Great. Thank you, Pat. And Madam President, that ends public comment.
Thank you. We will now move to item 1. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you to everyone for their comments. We will now take action to set the agenda and to approve the consent agenda. At this time, I'd like to pull item 11 from the consent agenda for discussion on the regular agenda to provide additional context. Can I get a motion to set the agenda, adding item 11 and to approve the consent? Thank you. Second? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote.
Supervisor Spear?
Aye.
Supervisor Mueller?
Yes.
Supervisor Gaucher?
Yes.
Supervisor Canepa?
Yes.
President Corzo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We will now move on to item 1, which is action on a resolution appointing members to the 2026 Charter Review Committee and authorizing the committee to conduct teleconference meetings. As has been discussed at recent board meetings under the county charter, every 8 years, the county must convene a charter review committee. The last charter review committee completed its work in 2018, and therefore we must convene a charter review committee this year. This committee will be tasked with reviewing the county charter and, after convening public hearings, making recommendations to the Board of Supervisors as to amendments or revisions. And as we know, on December 9th, the board adopted a resolution to establish the Charter Review Committee and set forth a process for appointing members to the committee. The board's December 9th resolution also provides that the board will select up to 11 additional committee members. Oh, I'm sorry. The Charter Review Committee process established that each board member will select one district representative for their district, and in addition will select up to 11 additional committee members representing a range of community interest groups. And after the December 9th meeting, the county opened an application period for individuals interested in serving on this committee and received over 40 applications. Our task today is to select up to 11 additional committee members to represent community interests. And we've prepared for the board a proposed worksheet that lists each community interest group, as well as the applicants who have indicated that they are representative of these groups, along with the space for each supervisor to write in their choice for a representative for each community interest group. I will also note that the applications have been made available to the board members and redacted versions were published with the agenda for today's meeting. So I'd like to propose that after we take public comment on this item, we take time to have each supervisor write in their choice for a committee member representing each community interest group. We can then hand the worksheets to the county attorney, who will read each supervisor's choice, and the clerk will show the results on a tally sheet that will be projected on the screens. And after that, we can discuss the results and perhaps vote again if we don't get to 3 on any of the categories before a motion is made, once we have selected candidates that have at least 3 board supervisors in support. With that, I'd like to hand it over to County Attorney Niblin to add anything that I may have missed, and then we'll go on to board discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. I think you laid it out really well. Again, the notion was that we again have prepared a worksheet that we've distributed to members of the board that lays out, each of the. Well, firstly, it lists the 5 district designees who have already been identified by members of the Board of Supervisors, and in fact, these names were published in the agenda. That includes. With the agenda for today's meeting, that includes from District 1, Tom Adams, District 2, Jacqueline Faust, District 3, Ileana Rodriguez, District 4, Roseanne Faust, and then for District 5, Daniela Jung Witud. And again, the notion was that after taking public comment, you all would go sort of with this worksheet, through the various community of interest designations, cities, schools, organized labor, business, underserved communities, LGBTQI community, seniors, youth, environmental groups, immigrant rights groups, voting rights groups, and identify your preferred candidate for each of those groups. And what we've done, again, is listed the applicants who identified themselves as potential representatives of those various groups. The notion then would be that we'd take the worksheets from you all and share kind of the results, after which you would have the opportunity to discuss and see whether or not you develop consensus around any or all of these groups. So, but again, that was just to repeat, Madam President, what you already said. So with that, I'd turn it back over to you.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this from my colleagues?
Yes, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So I, just at the outset, want to note that my District 3 representative, Ileana Rodriguez, does not live in District 3, but I wanted to explain to my constituents 37 years of work at the county, including assistant county executive, and worked very closely with me on District 3 issues. And so more than qualified, actually, he's hyper qualified for the Charter Committee and for District 3. I also wanted to indicate for environmental groups, I see Ms. Bandrapali has applied for a number of them. I wanted to go ahead and say to my colleagues, I wanted to also put Karen Chapman into number 9. She indicated she works with sempervirens in her work, and so wanted to include her as a candidate as an applicant for that item. And with that, I'll go ahead and pass.
Thank you. Any further comments, Supervisor Canepa? Oh, your mic is on.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, with that, we can move on to public comment.
Thank you, Madam President. I do not have any speaker cards from chambers, so we'll go. Oh. Please state your name for the record.
And do we have any hands up on Zoom for this item?
Yes, Madam President, we have 2 hands at this time.
Okay,
just
then
to notify the
comment
board
will be a minute and a half.
A minute and a half?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Just to notify the board that the establishment of charters is unconstitutional, and you guys should know that. It happened during the federalization of our counties, and our whole nation is currently federalized. But we, the people, are coming against the charters and these current positions, and you legislating from a position of executive is unconstitutional. Your behavior is reprehensible. You won't even look me in the eyes. None of you. There you go. You won't look me in the eye. Oh, there. Okay, Ray, you can look down and snide. It's fine. But we, the people, are coming for you. Now, yesterday, this county is completely lawless.
Can you please make sure your comment
Niblin,
is relevant
please
to the agenda
understand
item?
That your responsibility as the county attorney is to maintain lawful actions within our court. The administrative
Can you
law
please direct your
process-
comments to the board and make sure they're on topic?
Is this not the whole complete board? So the administrative law process that is occurring over in the Superior Court and then being adjudicated by your policy holders or your police, the people that are enforcing them, they came and raided my home yesterday, okay? And they destroyed my home. So we have a problem here in this county, and I'm just warning you that you've been put on notice, and now I'm feeling a little bit like there's retribution for speaking out against your lawlessness. And it's been over a year I've been noticing you. And I've told you guys to repent and to please make changes and come back with a constitutional-based government. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no more speaker cards from chambers, we will now turn to comments from Zoom. At this time, we have 2 hands raised. So we'll do 1 minute and 30 seconds. Sabrina, followed by Michelle Stevens. Sabrina, please unmute and begin. Sabrina, please unmute your microphone. Thank you.
I come as one of the people, Supervisors, who hold all political power. Your consent agenda denies the right of redress, as you are amenable to the people at all times. Article 4, Section 4 is a guarantee clause in the U.S. Constitution and guarantees us the right of a government in Republican in form. Article 1, Section 7, the person may not be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law or denied equal protections of the law. You just violated that by you allowing other people more time to redress grievances. And there are no special privileges or classes. A citizen in Article 1, Section 7B, a class or of citizens may not be granted privileges or immunity not granted to the same terms to all citizens. And so you keep doing this, and each act of deprivation of rights is a felony. You will be held accountable. You are being investigated. You're ramrodding these consent agendas through without the right of redress for the people. So make sure that you don't keep giving special classes and NGOs. And by the way, the Treaty of Hidalgo was signed by those people that claim that it's their indigenous land. They sold the land. They gave up their rights. It is not conquered land. It is bought and purchased land. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go to Michelle Stevens, followed by Bruce. Michelle, please unmute and begin.
Hello, once again, I come to you as one of the people, child of God. I really think that you all know. I really don't think we really have to say much more. You have been noticed. You have been asked. You have been pled with. You're going against the Constitution in 90% of your proceedings. Everything that you have done since you appointed your sheriff is null and void. Everything that you've done can come back and be undone because you didn't follow procedure to begin with. If you truly want to make a difference in anybody's life, you do it the right way. You don't do it by forcing your will onto other people. You have an agenda in behind what you've been doing. I don't know what that is. I don't know your personal thoughts, but I do know that your actions truly prove you're not for the people. You are not for the Constitution, and you're not for the United States. You took an oath that you break continuously. You may not think it's a big deal, but an oath is a sworn testament. You need to repent. You need to go back to the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you. Our last speaker, Bruce, please unmute and begin.
Yes, and thank you. I'd like to add God onto that big long list there that you guys don't seem to acknowledge. And thank you, Bruce Johnson, here for the mic. And, you know, the right to redress is not symbolic. It requires that the people be heard at a meaningful time by unbiased decision makers and before irreversible commitments are made. When procedures are structured in a way that forecloses meaningful participation, predetermines outcomes, or substitutes narrative justifications for natural or neutral law, the people are deprived of that right. Deprivation of right does not require intent. It occurs when government action by design or process denies equal access, equal protection, or meaningful participation under the law. The Constitution does not permit rights to be distributed by status, identity, or favored classification. I appear today before you, not in opposition to lawful government, but in defense of constitutional government, where authority remains delegated, limited, and accountable to the people. I respectfully place this on the record as a petition for redress and an objection to any process or
Thank you,
action
Bruce. You're at
that
time.
deprives the people of their rights under California's original
One
constitutional
warning
framework.
given.
Thank
I'm going to
you.
ask you to wrap up. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. No further comments, Madam President.
Okay, moving back to discussion and questions regarding the charter review appointment.
Madam President, could I add something that I probably should have added?
Yes.
Actually, a couple things. One is that I see it as to the form of worksheet. I neglected to include a line for supervisors to write their names, but I'd ask that you write your name on the form before you hand it back, just so that we can keep track of who's who with respect to the votes. Second, in addition to appointing members to the 2026 Charter Review Committee, a couple of other things the board will be doing today is directing the Charter Review Committee to consider certain items, certain subject matters for possible amendment to the county charter. And the memorandum accompanying this item indicates 5 different subjects that members of the subcommittee, things that have been identified by the subcommittee, but board members will have the opportunity to discuss that and to perhaps suggest other matters for the Charter Review Committee to consider. So that's something I wanted to flag. And then finally, the board is being asked to make findings that would allow the Charter Review Committee, after meeting at least once in person collectively, to conduct their meetings remotely. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear as well.
Thank you. And just to summarize, we will be filling out these worksheets and until we have consensus on one person per category, and then we can have the discussion about the 5 topics that were suggested. Maybe the board wants to add more. And then finally, when we vote, we will be allowing the Charter Review Committee, after their first meeting, to meet remotely, correct?
That's exactly right, Madam President. The other thing I just wanted to note is that while there are 11 categories listed, the board is not actually mandated to appoint somebody for all 11 different categories if ultimately the board decides not to.
Question.
Supervisor Spear?
Thank you. Mr. Niblin, how many members were on the Charter Review Committee in 2018?
Actually, I'm going to defer to one of my colleagues. I believe it was something close to 18 or 19, but I don't want to misstate it.
Good morning, Supervisors. Brian Pettit, Deputy County Attorney. It was 19.
19? And so we've already selected 5, is that correct?
The supervisors have identified their 5 district appointees, yes.
Okay. I'm just curious about the size, because the larger it is, I think the more complex it becomes. So, but there's no requirement of a specific number.
That's true, Supervisor. The charter only requires that there be a committee. It doesn't actually provide direction with respect to the size. We were just working off past precedent.
And as I noted with the individuals who've already been selected by each of us, they check off a number of categories as well. Thank you.
Okay. I will speak for myself when I say that some of the categories, there are a few. So for my process, I reviewed all of the applications and I only included candidates that I felt were really viable. And so that means they put effort into their application. Their application was thoughtful and thorough. And so I want to recognize that there will likely be many categories where there are over 5 potential candidates. And so that might get a little complicated. We may have to come back to this worksheet after discussion and vote again. I propose that we we either take some time to complete our worksheet fully, or we turn it in with what we have. We select candidates for the categories where there are consensus, and then we take a little bit more time. What are my colleagues amenable to?
I would like to
Supervisor
recommend that
Spear?
we give ourselves 10 minutes to fill out the forms and submit them.
Okay, sounds good.
And through the chair, it would have been nice to have some of these candidates here, if we could hear from them. Because most committees that we work on, you hear from those people who are applying. So you'll have a better understanding of why and what's important to them. But that would be something for the future, for sure.
So
Go ahead, Supervisor Mueller.
I have one other person to add who's only listed on one list, but I've worked with her in Half Moon Bay on immigrants' rights issues, and that's Jalissa Acosta, who's on the city's list. She only appears in one place, and I've worked with her in the city of Half Moon Bay and with Alice and others. I think so I'd like to add her to that list.
That sounds good to me. Is that okay with the rest
Where
of
are
my
we at here?
colleagues?
So number 10, immigrants' rights groups. I'd like to add Jalissa Acosta to that list, and I've already asked to add Karen Chapman to the environmental groups list.
Okay, so why don't we, at 10 a.m., we can turn in our worksheets. For the sake of those on Zoom, we are getting to our last 3 minutes. The board is completing their worksheets on their charter review, on the charter review candidates, and then we will be turning them in and discussing, tallying up the candidates and then discussing. If you have filled out your worksheet and are ready, go ahead and hand it over. We're almost at time, but I'd like to add that we will tally and discuss. I know, at least for me, it's sometimes helpful in making a final decision to hear discussion. And so there will be room for that in this process.
Is it clear as mud?
I'm looking for one more name under business. This is clear as mud. I should have put names on the paper so I could like pull it back and
Yeah, actually, I made a spreadsheet to try to because it's very confusing. There's a lot of applications.
yeah. Okay. I don't know what I want to do for business.
And just a reminder, public comment has already been taken for this item.
Would it be helpful if we start tallying? Okay, great.
Madam President, with your okay, I think what I would ask is to go ahead and have the clerk bring up the tabulation sheet that the clerk's office has prepared. I think that.
Please do.
And we're just going to go sort of, again, category by category and reflect the votes. And we'll just go by supervisorial district. We'll start with Supervisor Spear on cities, and her choice was Mark Hayslip. Supervisor Corzo, District 2, for cities, the choice was Eddie Flores. For District 3, Supervisor Mueller, the choice for cities was Eddie Flores. District 4, Supervisor Gauchier, the choice for cities was Eddie Flores. And for District 5, Supervisor Canepa, the choice was Eddie Flores. So those are the results for cities. Then we'll go ahead and go to schools. And the choice for District 1, actually no choice indicated there. And then for District 2, Maria Jose Alvarado Luna. For District 3, Lynette Garcia. For District 4, Lynette Garcia. And for District 5, David Pollock.
You can change mine to Lynette Garcia as well.
And then we'll move to Category 3, which is organized labor. Organized labor for District 1, Julie Lind. District 2, Julie Lind. District 3, Julie Lind. District 4, Julie Lind. District 5, Julie Lind. So then we'll move to category number 4, business. And again, District 1, Supervisor Spear has Kim Samayoya. District 2, Supervisor Corzo is Mark Hayslip. District 3, Supervisor Mueller, Mark Hayslip. District 4, Supervisor Gauchier, Paisley, Vartanian. And District 5, Supervisor Canepa, Mark Hayslip. So then we'll move to category number 5. This is underserved communities. District 1, Nirmala Bandrapali. District 2, Selena Mack. District 3, Monica Mejia. District 4, Monica Mejia. District 5, Jim Lawrence.
Through the chair, I could
Go ahead.
go. I don't know how this works, but I could go with Monica Mejia.
Okay.
So Supervisor Canepa, District 5, that'll be Monica Mejia. So on category 6, LGBTQI community, District 1, Supervisor Spear, Michael Cooper. District 2, Supervisor Corzo, Tavalu Amavaye. District 3, Supervisor Mueller, Dana Johnson. District 4, Supervisor Gauchier, also Dana Johnson. District 5, Supervisor Canepa, Dana Johnson. Category number 7, seniors. Supervisor Spear, District 1, Janet Stringer. District 2, Supervisor Corzo, Jim Lawrence. District 3, Supervisor Mueller has George Smith. District 4 Supervisor Gauchier, Jim Lawrence, and District 5 Supervisor Canepa, Judah Tolmasov.
I can go with Jim Lawrence.
Noted Jim Lawrence for Supervisor Canepa, District 5. Next is Youth, District 1, Nathan Healy. District 2, Amani Schroff. District 3, it looks like Barbara Mathewson. District 4, Nathan Healy. And District 5, Michael Cooper.
I can change to Nathan Healy.
I appreciate that. He's 16, so it's really, truly a youth voice to the charter.
Moving to environmental groups. District 1.
Can I pause for 1 second here? Definitely want to hear how this lays out. I wanted to note for my colleagues that we had 3 candidates in the other category as well. One representing a veteran perspective, one representing a healthcare perspective. And frankly, I wasn't super impressed with the candidates for environmental. And so I just want my colleagues to consider that perspective.
Yeah, at the end, actually, I'd like to talk about adding others to the bottom, because I had one candidate excluded, I think, as a veteran's voice. I'd be very interested in still having on the committee.
For environmental, then, I'll go ahead and note that District 1 identified Karen Chapman, so Supervisor Spear, Karen Chapman. District 2, Supervisor Corzo, I believe...
None selected.
None selected. District 3, Supervisor Mueller, Karen Chapman. District 4, Supervisor Gauchier, selected Nirmala Bandrapalli. District 5 selected as well, Nirmala Bandrapalli. Category number 10 is immigrants' rights groups. District 1 selection, Supervisor Spear has Kimberly Wu. District 2 Supervisor Corzo has Julissa Acosta. District 3 Supervisor Mueller, Julissa Acosta. District 4 Supervisor Gauchier, Tavalu Aumave. And District 5 Supervisor Canepa identified, looks like Lilian Perez Avila.
Go ahead, Supervisor Spear.
I think it's very important for us to appreciate, as we develop this group, that we have immigrant groups that are diverse as well. And, the Asian population in this county is larger than the Latino population. And I just want to make sure that they're reflected as well.
I agree with that analysis. In fact, I had selected Talivo for the LGBTQIA area for that reason, because I did notice there was a disparity there as well. So I think we can maybe pin that to the discussion topics we'll have at the end and continue. Thank you.
And that takes us to group number 11, which is voting rights groups. And District 1 identified Kathleen Wheeler. So Supervisor Spear, Kathleen Wheeler. District 2, Supervisor Corzo identified Lilian Perez Avila. District 3 identified Supervisor Mueller Elizabeth Wright. District 4 Supervisor Gauchier identified Lilian Perez Avila. And District 5 Supervisor Canepa identified Lilian Perez Avila. And those are all 11 of the groups that were identified the board in their resolution for the composition of membership. And so that is that's
Okay.
that.
Thank you, County Attorney Nibelin. Can we start at the top of the tally sheet just so we can review? So I think we almost had consensus for Eddie Flores. I would propose he does get the nomination there. So if we can maybe bold, it's already bold actually. Underline, I don't know. That's fine. Let's move on. Thank you. For schools, we see Lynette has the most votes. I would propose we bold and continue. Same for Julie Lind with the Labor Council. Number 4, I would say we bold. Let's bold this one as well. Here we have Dana Johnson as well. Let's continue. You have Jim Lawrence. Oh yeah, that was okay. Go ahead, Nathan Healy. Actually, can we go back up? So for the youth seat, I just wanted to name that. I believe Amani Shroff is also of Asian descent, and I thought had a more thoughtful application than Nathan Healy. So if that is, and also has, I believe is the youth. She's on the youth commission. She's the liaison to, or was the liaison to the Commission of the Status of Women as well. And so just want to lay that out there if we do want to think about how we can ensure more diversity, representative diversity. But we can come back to this. Moving on. Environmental groups. Yeah, Karen definitely has the most votes. Like I mentioned earlier, I do think that the application wasn't super thorough, and I was hoping to see kind of thoughts on, what work they would want to do in like fairly representing environmental groups. But she has 3, so let's continue. Okay, so immigrant rights, we don't have 3 votes on this one. Would my colleagues like to discuss? Go ahead, Supervisor.
I would
Spear.
just, reiterate what I said. I think we have no representation, to my knowledge now, from the Asian community on the Charter Commission. We have many people of Latino descent on the Charter Committee.
That's
Great.
I'm fine changing my vote to Kimberly.
Me too. Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Kimberly's
fine.
Okay, and I agree. You can put mine for Kimberly as well. Canepa's as well, so that's
And all of us.
all of us, yes. Okay, and we are at our final category. The only pending, I think, discussion piece we have is, do we want to consider Blair Whitney, who brings a veteran's perspective, John Giroux, who brings a healthcare perspective, and Supervisor Mueller, Vice President Mueller, I think you had one additional candidate for veterans.
I believe George Wright did too. Or George Smith, excuse me. Said the name wrong.
Madam President.
Supervisor Spear, go ahead.
You know, there were two representatives from the League of Women Voters that applied. Neither of them were selected. They tend to be individuals who are well informed on all the issues in our communities. And I would like to add them to this other list. So there's Kathleen Wheeler and Elizabeth Wright.
And through the chair, can we look at the list and see what are we missing from the list? Who's missing? Who will not be at the table for this charter?
I would say that I think a veteran's perspective is one that I've noticed is missing.
I think there's two. I think Pacific Islander and the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a tough one because I like Kathleen as well.
Yeah, and I would say
Well, Karen Chapman has already been selected, so she could be taken off.
well, I think what we're considering is, instead of environmental, having someone else from the other category instead of.
I'm not. I'd like to leave Karen at environmental.
Okay, then I think we have all of our categories then, so we wouldn't consider anyone under other. Is that right?
Madam President, I do think the board, if it decided it wanted to, could add additional names, notwithstanding that the directive was to take applications for 11 categories. If on the basis of the information the board has at this point, they want to add an additional member to represent some group that the board feels needs to be represented, I think you have that flexibility if you decide you want to.
Okay, Supervisor Canepa?
You know, I do think that we need a League of Women's representative, and I don't know whether it's Kathleen Wheeler or Elizabeth Wright. I know on numerous boards that I've sit on regionally, having a League of Women voters voice is an important voice. So I would support that if the board chooses to do that.
If I could suggest, colleagues, it looks like we're missing a veteran, a Pacific Islander, and League of Women Voters. So one of each who satisfies those categories, I think would probably make sense to add, and then we'd be done.
What was that again?
So we would be adding three new.
We'd be adding 3 new people, right?
So we take this.
Yep.
To what then?
19.
It would be 19 exactly,
19.
just
19
like last
before,
time.
though.
Just like last time.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I support it.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
that's great.
So just for clarity, who are we adding?
So we're going to have to vote between 2 veterans, two League of Women Voters, and then you guys will have to help me identify the Pacific Islanders category.
Talivo.
Yeah, Talivo.
All right. Well, then that's if she is the only one.
They.
They.
Yes.
Excuse me. They are the only one who meet that category. Great.
Okay. So do we want to vote between the veteran category then, which is, my understanding, George Smith and Blair?
Yeah. Why don't we can we take a moment and review the?
Oh,
two,
sure.
please? That'd be-
Sure. We'll take 2 minutes to review.
Blair Whitney, yeah.
So just to clarify for the public, we have made a decision to add Talavu Aumave for their intersectional representation of several categories, including the immigrant community, the LGBTQIA plus community, and I want to say a few others. And we are now considering who we would like to give our vote to in the categories of voting groups, voting rights groups, and veterans. Okay, I think we've had some time to consider. Are there any thoughts from my colleagues?
I would like to recommend Kathleen Wheeler and, Blair Whitney.
I'll also support Kathleen Wheeler. I respect my colleague. I still want to support George Smith, but respect Jeff for that.
No problem.
And in terms of veterans? Okay, Supervisor Spear will come back to you. Supervisor Canepa?
Yeah, I'll support Kathleen Wheeler and George Smith.
Okay, and I'll be supporting Elizabeth. I was going to support Elizabeth Wright, but let's go with Kathleen Wheeler and Blair Whitney. And I'd just say that I thought Blair put more time into their application.
Then I'm going to put in a post. The reason why I selected George Smith is because he actually serves in the leadership position in the American Legion in Redwood City, which I know is quite a bit of work with not just with other veterans. So I thought that point of view would be well represented.
Okay, so it sounds like our selections are Kathleen Wheeler and George Smith.
Madam President, just in terms of making sure we get the motion right, I was hoping we could go to sort of like category by category again. Maybe we could start at the top and just sort of run down. I know we've done this before, but I want to sort of make sure we have all the names. So for the cities, Eddie Flores would be the
Yes, I'm happy to. I can run through them.
Perfect.
Okay, so for cities we have Councilmember Eddie Flores. For schools we have Lynette Garcia. Organized labor, we have Julie Lind. Business, we have Mark Hayslop. Underserved communities, we have Monica Mejia. LGBTQIA plus community, we have Dana Johnson. Seniors, we have Jim Lawrence. Youth, we have Nathan Healy. Environmental groups, we have Karen Chapman. Immigrant rights groups, we have Kimberly Wu. Voting rights groups, can you please scroll back up? We have Lillian Perez Avila. And in other, we have George Smith representing veterans. Kathleen Wheeler representing women, the League of Women Voters. And Talavo Almave got a vote from every single supervisor here.
Through the chair, the tally should reflect that Mueller voted for George Smith, so George Smith should have 3, not 2.
Okay.
So, Madam Supervisor, when the time comes to adopt the resolution for this matter, this would be the essentially the panel that the board would be
Yes.
voting for, to include, of course, Tom Adams, Jacqueline Faust, Ileana Rodriguez, Roseanne Faust, and Daniela Jungwitude.
Correct. Any additional comments from my colleagues?
Thank you. That wasn't as painful as I thought it was.
Okay. Do you need a formal vote on this?
Madam President, I think this tally or this panel would be incorporated by reference into the resolution itself. So, and the
Perfect.
resolution will also include the matters that you're going to ask the committee to consider, as well as action to allow the committee to meet remotely. So,
Okay,
I think we'll just take one vote on the entire resolution, recognizing that these names will be incorporated into it.
Great. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution? Do I have a second? Motion.
I wanted to be clear. Did anybody have anything to say about the
that's right.
the matters that the committee would be considering?
That's why it felt so easy.
I don't have the matters in front of me right this moment, but I believe some were pulled from the applications. Do you have them in front of you?
I'm happy to share
Can
them. Thank
please
you,
read
Madam
them?
President. Yes. These are the items that were identified by the subcommittee, again, consisting of Supervisor Corzo and Supervisor Canup. And again, the proposal would be to require the committee or direct the committee to consider these matters. One, whether County Charter Section 412.5, which is removal of elected chair for cause, should be amended to delete subsection E, which currently states that Section 412.5, which vests the board with authority to remove a chair for cause, shall sunset and be of no further force and effect as of December 31st, 2028. So high level and in plain English, should that sunset provision be taken out of the charter such that particular provision would exist indefinitely unless and until it's changed. The second item is whether the county charter, Section 202, which deals with elections, should be amended to either delete the term consecutive, thereby imposing a lifetime ban on election to a supervisorial seat following 3 terms in office, or specify how long an intervening period a supervisor must be out of office before being eligible to be elected to, or otherwise serve as a county supervisor. Currently, Section 202 is drafted in a way that I think it's fair to say might be a little bit ambiguous with respect to the point. So that was, I think, some of the thinking for that. The third item is whether the county charter should be amended to add a new section requiring the Board of Supervisors to annually review the board's governance process and practices. The fourth item is whether Section 415 of the county charter should be amended to further specify board procedures in the event that the board makes an appointment to fill a vacancy in an elected office. Just having come through that process, I think there was some thought that maybe some more detail would be useful. And whether the county charter, this is the fifth item, whether the county charter should be amended to identify procedures in the event that the board has cause to believe that an elected office has been or should be vacated because the incumbent official has become physically, mentally, or otherwise incapacitated. So those are the 5 items, Madam President.
Thank you. Any discussion from my colleagues? Supervisor Mueller?
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate the thought that went into making these suggestions. And I actually was going to try to add to him yesterday. I was thinking of ways to add to him, but then it dawned on me that I think the charter process really is one that I think I would actually, I actually have some pause in having the board collectively vote to ask the charter review committee to what to think about. I think it sort of directs their discussion in a way that I think is top down rather than bottom up. So what I think if it's perfectly appropriate if board members want to send a letter to the Charter Review Committee individually to say, do you want to think about these things? But I think to have the board actually take an action and direct them to think about certain things, I'm not going to be supportive of today.
Thanks, Supervisor. I would note that the county charter actually does provide that the board can provide direction to the Charter Review Committee. That's something that's contemplated in the charter. It's not something that's, of course, required. So, but it is part of the process that the charter contemplates is direction from the board with respect to these matters.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Supervisor Corzo. Thank you very much.
Supervisor Canepa?
I just really want to thank Brian Pettit, Judith Holliber, of course, John Niblin. This has been an extensive process in a very short timeline. And so I think what's been put before us today has been thoughtful. I do think the Charter Review Committee, and historically, when they've taken up these different items, we've always seemed to, and I think we've done this on the future action that we'll take, is that we've always come up with solutions. We've always come up with a collaborative effort to address issues that really, and I think some of the issues illustrated within the staff report really do look to be revisited at and to thought about. I think to think about. I think the body that we have before us does that. And again, I just really want to thank you, Judith, and yourself, Mr. Pettit. This was not an easy endeavor, but one that you've sought through, and we really appreciate it. So thank you.
Just
Supervisor Mueller?
Yeah, just in response to County Council, I did indicate that I do think it's appropriate for board members, if they want to send a letter to the Charter Review Committee with suggestions, to go ahead and do so. So I'm not excluding any comment from the board or board members to the committee. I'm just saying a collective action by the board, I think, in my personal opinion, feels a bit directive.
So I will just add that I also want to thank staff for working on this. I know that it's been a complicated process that would have been, could have been a little less complicated and wrapped up sooner, but I'm really happy with the outcome and the thoughtfulness that my colleagues and I have put into making the selections and making sure we have a balanced group. This Charter Review Committee, I think, will have very important work as it pertains to the issue areas that the board may or may not suggest that the Charter Review Committee consider. I think it is the right thing to offer them some items to look at, because if we don't offer anything, I think as a board, we have insight into what we think are the most pressing matters. I don't think my understanding is they won't be required to look into every single issue area, so they will have flexibility, and there will be a lot of opinions on that committee. So I'm personally comfortable with suggesting issue areas for them. But I do think in order to wrap up, we have to make a decision on whether we want to include those in the resolution or not. So I'd like to get an understanding from my colleagues on where they land on that. And Supervisor Spear, please go ahead.
Thank you. I strongly oppose one. I do not think that we should be in a situation where we went to the voters, we said we were only going to have this power until 2028, and now we're going to the Charter Commission and suggesting that they recommend that we have it in place indefinitely. So I actually think 4 and 5 are acceptable to consider, but I do not support 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, that's helpful. I would be in support of all 5 being included. Supervisor Mueller, just to clarify, you don't want any included?
No, I'd ask actually for a bifurcated vote, first on the candidates and then on the categories, because I'm going to be voting no on all of them.
Okay, before we move on to a vote, let's hear from the rest of our colleagues here. Supervisor Gaucher?
I don't want to give direction to the charter, but I think to give them some topics that they could take up is perfectly okay. Let them have that discussion.
Are you in support of all 5 then?
Without any direction, let them, yes, having them take up that discussion.
Thank you. Supervisor Canepa?
You know, I'm sort of, I don't know at this time if I could support all 5 either. I do think that Supervisor Mueller makes, you know, a compelling argument. Argument's not the word, but a compelling case. What I'm afraid of is this potential optics of predetermination, and that to me, I think that's why I'm not going to be. I'm probably support Ray's motion and not be in support of any of the 5.
Okay, so I believe we then have kind of a split board here on this issue, but I'd like to ask County Attorney Niblin what the charter says. Do we have to select some recommendations, or is that not a requirement?
Madam President, the charter contemplates that the board can give direction to the Charter Review Committee, so there's nothing untoward about it, but it isn't actually mandated. If you don't ultimately believe that if there aren't 3 votes in favor of providing direction, then there's no requirement that you do so. But the process would be, just to be really clear, and I should have probably said a few words about this earlier, the glide path from here would be once the committee is formed and whatever direction is given to the committee meets and has a number of meetings, actually. The contemplation is there be 4, 5, or 6 meetings over the course of the next several months with the notion that the committee would come back to you with recommendations. The committee isn't actually required to recommend pro or con with respect to any direction that's given to them. And ultimately, nothing ends up on the ballot for the electorate to consider unless and until you all decide as a board that you want to adopt an ordinance to actually put something on the ballot for consideration with respect to amendment of the ordinance. But the short answer is no, you don't have any obligation to provide specific direction to the committee if you decide it's not appropriate.
Okay, taking that into account, do we want to consider Supervisor Mueller's proposal that we don't include any issue areas and we can write personal letters from each supervisor to the entire committee in terms of what topics to consider?
I can support that.
Okay, I can support that as well.
Madam President, I would ask then that if we're going to bifurcate out the motion, then the motion would be for the
I don't think we need to, County Attorney Niblin, if we're all in agreement that we won't be adding any issue areas.
Understood. I guess the piece I want to make sure doesn't get lost is that you all are also going to vote to approve the board, to adopt the findings necessary for the board to meet remotely, or for the committee to meet remotely.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so do I have a motion to, so moved? Second?
What's the motion?
The motion is to approve the candidates to serve on the commission, with no direction being given for their evaluation of the charter.
But I'll go ahead and include, but with the understanding that members can send individual letters on their thoughts of what the committee might consider.
And I heard a remote option.
And then the remote
for the board.
included.
I'll second.
I think we already had a second from Supervisor Gaucher. A roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Spear?
Aye.
Supervisor Mueller?
Yes.
Supervisor Gaucher?
Yes.
Supervisor Canepa?
Aye.
President Corzo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We will now move on to item 2, to approve an APR, an appropriation transfer request, ATR, for Measure K funds not to exceed $10,000 from District 2 to the San Mateo County Office of Arts and Culture for public art in District 2. I would like to motion to approve this item. Do I have a second? Second by Canepa. Roll call vote. Public comment, please.
And I have a comment too.
I have no speaker cards in the chamber, so we'll go to Zoom comments.
Thank you. At this time, I do see one hand raised for Sabrina. Sabrina, please go ahead and unmute and begin speaking.
I come as one of the people, surrogers, who hold all political power. The people who are the electors, not voters of the county, electing this committee by, are they collecting this committee by constitutional election? Where are these items on the consent agenda denying the inalienable constitutional right of redress? If the board refuses to answer any questions during these meetings, and rubber stamps these as if the people agree to them, you are bounded by the oath as your agreement to the grant of authority under the Constitution. So please, you have selected NGO communities to do your bidding and are going to tell them what to do in the future agendas. So please show where it is written, where you have the grant authority, Mr. Niblin, to have closed door sessions for these selections of representative. Your charter, home rule, Dillon's rule, Brown Acts are repugnant to the Constitution and making them null and void under Marbury versus Madison and Miranda versus Arizona. The people under Article 1, Section 3 of the California Constitution have the right of access of information concerning the conduct of the people's business, and therefore meetings of the public bodies and the writings of the public officials and agencies shall be open to public scrutiny. You continue to violate these rights. You continue to violate and deprive the people of the right of redress during these meetings. There is no open back and forth discussion. There is no questions being answered. You continue to do this, you are now in misprison, which is further more along the lines of treason, and you will be held accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. One additional hand for Catherine Carter. Catherine, please unmute and begin.
Yes. I'm Catherine Carter, one of the people to petition this body to redress grievances. Number one, is anyone on any of these committees going to be given a copy of the California Bill of Rights to read before they even decide on that charter? Because that charter is void. Time cannot render valid an act void in its origin. Void in part, void in total.
I'd like to remind the speaker that we're on item 2. We're not on the charter item anymore. We've completed the item. We are on Measure K discretionary item number 2.
Okay. Well, you have appointed people that may or may not even be actual citizens of this country because of how they were brought in. They were
Okay, if this comment isn't relevant to the item, I'm going to ask we move on.
No, it has to do with your committees.
Catherine, do you have any comments related to item number 2?
I am. And you need to get, if you're not operating under the Constitution, nothing you do is valid, is void. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, we'll now go to our last speaker, Bruce Johnson. Please unmute and begin.
Bruce Johnson. I come to you as one of the people. And I just want to say, altar buyers, void ab initio. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. No further hands, Madam President.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Spear?
Thank you. I am just going to indicate that I'm not going to vote for any Measure K appropriation that is $10,000 or less because the controller has indicated that it costs more to process a $10,000 grant internally. And it doesn't make sense to do that in my view, so they should be a minimum of $20,000.
Okay, any other comments from my colleagues? Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Spear?
No.
Supervisor Mueller?
Just responding, I will check with the controller's office. My office was under understanding 10,000 was the bare minimum. So, but I will go ahead and vote yes.
Supervisor Gaucher?
Yes.
Supervisor Canepa?
Yes.
President Corzo?
Yes. Thank you. Motion passes. We will now move on to item number 3, action to approve Measure K funds from District 2 not to exceed $20,000 for Tauluma for Tongans to support its intergenerational empowerment series. And I do believe we have a speaker on this item. And just to add a little bit more information, this is a counseling program designated to address root causes of mental health and substance use risk by promoting family unity, cultural identity, and early intervention strategies. And I'm grateful to Tauluma for leading in providing these services. I'd now like to invite Lucy Latu, Assistant Director at Taulama for Tongans, to share a few words. I believe they're on Zoom.
That's right, Madam President. We have Lucy joining as a panelist, I believe. Hi, Lucy. Feel free to proceed. Lucy, we see you here, but we don't hear you just yet.
Sorry, I double muted myself. It's a habit. I apologize. Good morning and happy New Year, President Corzo, Supervisors Mueller, Canepa, Gaucher, and Spear, County Executive Callaghy, Assistant County Executive Ely, County Attorney Niblin. My name is Lucy Latu, and I am the Assistant Director of Taulama for Tongans. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today and hopefully for your support through adopting the resolution to authorize district discretionary measure K funds. Taulama is a community-rooted nonprofit serving the Tongan and Pacific Islander community across San Mateo County since 2000. Our work is grounded in culture, language, and lived experience. These Measure K district discretionary funds will support our intergenerational empowerment series, a culturally responsive program consisting of 6 workshops delivered across 2 cohorts, bringing together parents and youth to strengthen communication, leadership, and cultural identity. This program is a direct response to findings from Taulama's 2022 San Mateo County Tongan Community Needs Assessment that was funded and supported by the San Mateo County Behavioral Health and Recovery Services. This assessment revealed high levels of intergenerational stress, mental health stigma, struggles in meeting basic needs, and barriers to accessing culturally appropriate support, particularly for youth and families navigating trauma, grief, and isolation while stressing and trying to get their basic needs met, such as paying rent, obtaining food, gaining adequate employment, paying bills. Since the Tongan Community Needs Assessment was conducted, those challenges have intensified and have become exponentially devastating and debilitating to us, our community. Our community has experienced multiple losses and incidents that underscore the need for longer-term, early, preventative, and sustainable intervention. What we know and live through daily, and what this data confirms, is that when we lack safe, culturally affirming spaces to talk and heal together, risk increases. These Measure K funds will allow us to pilot intervention upstream. It will allow us to to create structured, facilitated spaces where parents and youth can reconnect, where culture strengthens, not divides, generations, and where families build skills and that support long-term well-being. While this funding is not and does not meet the full scale of need, it will enable Taulama to pilot and start to deliver a focused, accountable program that with clear outcomes and strong community trust. It also reflects the county's recognition that culturally specific and community-led approaches are essential to equity. We are grateful to you, President Corzo, for sponsoring and recommending to the board this investment and for your continued commitment to improving quality of life for all communities in San Mateo County. Thank you for your time and partnership.
Thank you, Lucy. We will now move on to public comment unless my colleagues have any questions or comments. Public comment, please.
Thank you, Madam President. I don't have any from Chambers, so we'll go ahead and go to Zoom.
Thank you. We're now taking public comment on Zoom for item number 3, District 2 Measure K item for Taulama for Tongans. We have 2 hands raised, so I will start with Sabrina, followed by Michelle Stevens. Sabrina, please unmute and begin.
I come as one of the people, Surrey jurists, who hold all political power. I am invoking my constitutional right of redress written in Article 1, Section 3 of the California Constitution and instructing my servants not to interrupt me, depriving me of my constitutional rights of grievance when they do. Article 1 in the California Constitution, Section 7 says a person may not be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law or denied equal protections under the law. This agenda does all that. It also says in California
Sabrina,
Constitution,
I'm
Article
going to
1,
request
Section
that you
B, you
speak
are
on
interrupting
topic,
me and denying
please.
my right of grievance. It is. You just need to stop and I reclaim my time. A citizen or class of citizens may not be granted privileges or immunities and not granted to the same to all citizens. That means you cannot have these special NGOs and special classifications and special funds for a class of people. You are violating that article in the Constitution. Also, the U.S. Constitution, Article 4, Section 4, the United States shall guarantee every state in this union a Republican form of government. You have violated that. You have turned into a communist county, and you will be held accountable. And I suggest when any of the people come to speak, you do not interrupt them, as it is a deprivation of constitutional rights. And each time that you have done that is a felony. And when one or more of you, including the clerk that cuts off the microphone, is complicit, and all of you sitting on the board is complicit, including in the tortious interference by your county attorney, are complicit and will be held accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina. We'll now go to Michelle Stevens. Michelle, please unmute and begin.
Hello, board. I come to you as one of the people. Once again, I'm just here to, Sabrina's throwing out the constitutions to you. You interrupted Kitty. That's wrong. Not only is it wrong, it's rude. There's a phrase out there that I was raised by, doing to others as you'd have them doing to you. I think it's very rude for someone to cut someone off in the middle of a sentence. And no, we don't have to go by what you want to talk about. That's why it's called redress of grievance. It's not redress of what you want to talk about because it makes you feel good. It's about our rights through the Constitution. You've broken that. You've broken your oath. You broke your oath.
Michelle, I'm going to ask you to please speak on the topic.
I am speaking on the topic, redress of grievance, dear. You are breaking my constitutional right. Just because you are a member of a board does not mean you have more rights than what I do.
Madam President, I just do want to note that under the Brown Act, the public comment for any particular item is limited to the subject matter that is actually on the agenda. And
None of your charter rules.
And so I would again note that we should limit public comment.
I'm going to call for order. Can you please mute the mic? Please.
Ma'am, please hold your comment as the county attorney finishes what he's saying. Thank you. We've also held your time, so please hold your
Again,
comment.
I want to note that the public comment is limited to the subject matter that's actually on the agenda. There's a portion of the agenda that's available for general public comment that, again, can pertain to anything that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. But as we go item by item, the public comment is limited to the subject matter that is actually, again, being discussed pursuant to the agenda at that time. So, again, generalized comments with respect to whether we call them dealing with grievances or addressing grievances or some other thing. Again, are not related to the particular matter that is being discussed at this time, for example.
Okay, I'm going to ask that the speaker speak on the item for their last 14 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle, please go ahead and continue your comment, and we will proceed with the time remaining.
My comment is you do not have the right to step on my constitutional right to readdress my government at all. That is the topic. That has been the topic for several meetings now. Just because you all don't want to agree to it, it is the truth. You all are breaking the Constitution. You're breaking my rights.
Okay, you're at time, please.
And
Let's
Brian
move
trying
on.
to tell me what I can and
Can you
cannot
please cut the mic,
say.
Sherry?
Thank you, Michelle, for disconnecting your comment. Now we will go to Bruce Johnson. Bruce, please proceed.
Hello, Board. Bruce Johnson. I come to you as one of the people, sui juris. And you ought to stop and think about what these ladies are telling you. We all been trying to tell you for months, that you guys have some boundaries that you seem to have kind of stepped outside of, thinking that you've had perfect clarity to do so. And, part of redressing a grievance is when the people come to you and,
Bruce, respectfully, can you please make your
these
comment related
issues.
to the agenda item?
Yes, just, get back with the people. Don't blow them up, right? And, equal protection, that's important. Members of the board. Equal protection of the law means that government must act through neutral rules applied uniformly to all persons. Public authority does not include the power.
Madam President, again, the
sort
particular
the people
item at issue here is a resolution
disfavor
authorizing a
classes.
one-time grant of district
Bruce, please hold
discretionary
your
measure K funds for Taulama for Tongans, and that is the subject matter that is actually at issue.
Okay, so just for clarity, if our speakers don't have any relevant comment within the first 30 seconds of their comment, we are going to move on to the next speaker. So Bruce, if you have 23 seconds left, please make sure your comments are related to the District 2 discretionary request that this item is about, and I'll hand it over back to the clerk. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. You can please proceed. You have 23 seconds on the timer. This is for item 3 again.
I withdraw.
Okay, thank you. And that was the last comment, Madam President.
Okay, thank you. I believe this is back to the board for a motion for approval. Do I have a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Gaucher, second by Mueller. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Spear,
Yes.
Supervisor Mueller,
Yes.
Supervisor Gaucher,
Yes.
Supervisor Canepa,
Yes.
Supervisor Corzo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
President Corzo, I'd like to make a motion to hear the next 3 items together and combine public comment.
Is that possible, County Attorney Niblin?
The board's historical practice has been to consider the Measure K items individually, but
We'll bifurcate the vote on each of the 3 and hear them all 3 at once.
I think if there's a consensus to modify your rules to that effect, you can do so.
Thank you. If that's agreeable to everyone.
Is that a formal motion? Okay. Is there a second?
We can move it, yeah.
Okay. Motion by Mueller, second by Gaucher. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Spear,
No.
Supervisor Mueller,
Yes.
Supervisor Gaucher,
Yes.
Supervisor Canepa,
Yes.
President Corzo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank
to hear
you.
4, 5, and 6 together.
Thank you. So these are all Measure K items, one from District 2, 2 from District, 1 from District 4, 1 from District 5. The item number 4 is a grant in the amount of $10,000 to Empowerment Through Action for the furnishing and supplies for wellness centers in 3 local middle schools and high schools, actually. Supervisor Gaucher, would you like to introduce your item?
Sure, thank you. Today I recommend an approval of a one-time Measure K grant, not to exceed $30,000, to Casa Circulo Cultural, acting as a physical agent for the Center for Creativity to support high-quality accessible art programs serving residents across San Mateo County. The funds will be used for basic operational costs to ensure the space can remain open, safe, and connected for community use. The Center for Creativity is a community-led effort to build a permanent visual and performing arts hub in downtown Redwood City. This space serves as a cultural anchor at Main and Broadway, connecting residents across generations, neighborhoods, and backgrounds. It fills a real gap in affordable, accessible creative spaces, particularly for youth, seniors, and families who often lack access to arts programs. This past Friday, I attended the opening reception for the 2026 showcase, an exhibit on perseverance, resilience, and hope at the Center for Creativity, and the space was electric. Stop there.
Thank you, Supervisor Gaucher. And did you have a speaker?
They are in the room should there be any questions.
Okay, I actually neglected to.
Did you want to speak? No, okay.
I neglected to acknowledge that my item does have a speaker, and we have Rachel Lauderdale. So I'll just ask that she speaks before we go to the third item. Rachel, I believe, is on Zoom from representing Empowerment Through Action.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for letting me speak on the incredible Measure K grant granted to our Empowerment Through Action program. I'm Rachel Lauderdale. I teach at Hillsdale High School, and I'm one of the co-executive directors of Empowerment Through Action. We started as a program at Hillsdale High School, and then we are now officially our own 501c3. And with our new status, we have been able to expand our program through the Empower San Mateo initiative with the support of our school district. We now have groups at the 3 biggest feeder middle schools, Burrell, Bayside, and Abbott. And we're also running groups at the 4 high schools in San Mateo, Hillsdale, Aragon, San Mateo, and our Bridge Academy. Our students are placed in mentor groups with 1 adult leader, around 8 to 10 students per group leader. They're all students who are most marginalized by our school systems, first generation students, students who are furthest from the opportunities that some of our other students in San Mateo have. And we are proud to say in our first 6 months of our expansion, we now serve over 400 students in the city of San Mateo that qualify for our ETA program. And thanks to the Measure K grant, we're able to create beautiful, safe, and inviting spaces on our high school and middle school campuses to run our groups and the other parts of the ETA program as we expand. So currently we're working on spaces at Aragon, San Mateo, and Bridge Academy that will be turned into community resource centers using the Measure K grant. And this year, the spaces will be used for our groups, but in the future, they could hold our tutoring centers, our restorative circles, and much more for our students and their families in our San Mateo community. The San Mateo County Board of Supervisors has been an ongoing supporter of our Empowerment Through Action program through the years, and they've contributed to a deep impact for our students and families, and we could not be more thankful. We look forward to our continued work with the county and the city to provide brave spaces with trusted adults for our youth in San Mateo. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and I can't wait to visit. Supervisor Canepa, you had the third item. Please go ahead.
Great. Thank you very much. Today, I'm proud to bring forward a Measure K grant request of $100,000 to the Ariana May Hatami Foundation to establish scholarship endowments for survivors of domestic violence and human trafficking here in San Mateo County. The Ariana May Hatami Foundation has a strong and trusted history of service in our community. Through prior District 5 Measure K funding in 2020 and 2023, AMHF have produced educational films and documentaries that have helped raise awareness, prevent abuse, and connect survivors with critical resources. This work has reached residents across the county and has played an important role in breaking the silence around intimate partner violence and trafficking. This proposal builds on that foundation and addresses a clear and ongoing need. While awareness and prevention are essential, survivors also need pathways to independence. These pathways that lead to education, job skills, and long-term stability. This grant does exactly that. Through this one-time Measure K investment, AMHF will establish a $100,000 scholarship endowment to provide ongoing financial support to survivors pursuing education. Scholarships will be made available at our 3 San Mateo County Community College District campuses, Kenyatta College, College of San Mateo, and Skyline College, and in partnership with the San Mateo County Office of Education to eligible high school students across the county. This initiative also benefits the broader community. When survivors are supported in achieving self-sufficiency, we see positive ripple effects, stronger families, reduced strain on social services, and safer, healthier neighborhoods. I respectfully ask for your support in approving this item and continuing our commitment to helping survivors not only escape violence, but build brighter, more, and secure futures. With that, I'd like to welcome Farzan Hatami, CEO and co-founder of the foundation, to speak on this item. Thank you.
Supervisor Canepa and Supervisor Corzo, they have been very supportive of what we've done. It's already been 10 years.
Yeah.
We lost our daughter to domestic violence, and we founded this foundation with your support. We have produced educational videos and films. It's been very well received, actually. Office of Education, San Mateo County School District is calling it a go-to resource for the parents and for the youth. They're actually using it on a regular basis. So it's been very well received. We're building on that foundation and actually creating multiple scholarships. We have done so with private donors almost 10 years ago. We're modeling this after that scholarship that was done at San Francisco State University. We have other scholarships throughout California. These are all four-year colleges. Some of the kids, those that have been coming to our country through human trafficking, they don't even have high school education. As you know, there's no tuitions or any fees for high schools, but this would help them with the cost, with the expense for their living. I've been in direct contact with Dr. Moreno of San Mateo College District, and we're jointly putting this scholarship together with your help. At the same time, I'm actually having a conference call with CFO of San Mateo High School District, Mr. Hawkins, I believe, this Thursday, to discuss the logistics of this scholarship that we're going to do together jointly. It's been very successful, the one that we've had, and we're modeling this after that. If you need any specifics on these programs, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Please let me know.
The chair. Can I just
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You know, Mr. Hatami, let me just thank you. In light of, your daughter's murder at the expense of someone, it occurred in Daly City, what you've been able to do in terms of creating a program to really, in her memory, to uplift people by giving people the resources that they need, so no other parent has to go through what you went through. I mean, I will tell you this: you are, to me, a hero, someone who really just has done so much. At San Francisco State, you've done so much in reaching out to community colleges, the production of these videos, which are widely watched. But I just really, from the bottom of my heart, for what you've gone through, and in a situation that was, as a parent, I would never want to go through. I mean, just, it's horrific. But what you've been able to do with your foundation and your board, just want to thank you.
I appreciate your feedback very much, actually. The whole community came to aid us, to help us. We've had support from the District Attorney's Office, from the Daly City Police Department, yourself, Supervisor Corzo, this body. You have been extremely helpful to us. And you're right, we turned something horribly negative into something very positive, to honor our daughter and help others to prevent this from happening again. And so I appreciate your help, your comment, your feedback. It's very powerful, and it's encouraging us to do more every day.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Spear. I believe you had a question.
I did. Mr. Hatami, let me first say how much I know that you have had much pain associated with the loss of your daughter, and the importance of creating something that is lasting to remember her is something that I certainly appreciate. I lost my husband many years ago to a driver who had no insurance. And so the way I tried to make it a more positive experience was to introduce legislation to require that everyone carry a minimum amount of auto insurance so that people with low income could at least bury their loved ones in a situation like that. Having said that, I have two questions. One is, it is said that you're going to spend this money between February of 26 and May of 26. Looking at your IRS document, it suggests you have no staff. So you're going to expend $100,000 in a period of 3 or 4 months. Who is going to make the decision as to who's going to get the scholarships is my question. And secondly, why wouldn't we just have this money go directly to the community colleges so that they could basically distribute the money based on their review of who has been a victim of domestic violence or sex trafficking?
On the what I've learned about the community colleges with the help of Dr. Moreno, they have established their own foundation. And this is at its infancy right now. They don't have any major donors to actually fund anything. So what we have decided that we're trying to do, our goal is to have this scholarship jointly, that we provide half of the money with your support and the community college provides it. And then we have a selection committee. And this selection committee consists of 3 people, one from our foundation and the others from the community college. The applicants would apply like we've done so, and then they receive this scholarship. It's in the form of endowment, and the hope is this would last forever because their foundation invests this money, and the proceed goes to these folks. The same thing we're establishing with the high school district. My discussions with Mr. Hawkins is going to be around that they actually provide some of the money, and we jointly start this process. The proceed on an annual basis goes to a number of applicants that they are either survivors of domestic violence, their children, or human trafficking, based on their needs, whether it's high school, 2-year college, and the 4-year we already have in place.
How much is your foundation going to contribute to this joint foundation?
We provide half of the money.
Well,
and then,
it appears that your net assets, you have $156,000.
correct.
So you're going to provide $75,000?
No, we're providing $50,000 to each. One is for high school and $50,000 for the community colleges. And then with their support, we actually established this endowment.
And so the $100,000 that Measure K would be providing is that money? Is that what you're saying?
That's part of it. That's a big part of it. Yes, correct.
All right.
I have a question as well.
Yes.
Can you please clarify how many scholarships this will actually be funding?
We're anticipating 10 plus on an annual basis based on how the foundation of these community colleges and the high schools will deal with the money.
And what are the amounts?
Sorry?
The amounts of the scholarships?
$100,000 for the high school and $100,000 would be for the college, as they provide half of the money.
How much will the recipients receive? If there's 10 per year,
It's a
how
range
many?
of $1,000 to $2,000, either on an annual basis or every semester when it comes to the 2-year college.
Okay. Do I have any questions from my colleagues?
So did you say it's a 1,000 to 3,000, or what was that dollar amount? I didn't understand.
$1,000 to $2,000.
And they're going to be 10 people? That doesn't-
Roughly 10.
So I'm just trying to make the math work. And so if that's not 50,000, that's what I'm trying to get to.
The endowment is invested by the community college foundation that they have. The San Mateo County Community College District, they have their own foundation. And this is going to be part of a bigger investment that they have. The proceeds is going to be given to the kids on an annual basis, whether it's every semester or one time per year.
Okay, Supervisor Canepa.
No, I really want to thank you for the work. You know, my understanding is around a lot of these dollars, right? There are people who need resources outside of just going to school. So some of the scholarships, and I've worked with Dr. Moreno on some of this, is whether, you know, what do you do if you need books? What do you do if you need Chromebooks? What do you do if you need some help, if they're food insecure?
Yes.
And so I sort of look at this, you know, we made investments in, you know, foster care. I look at this as sort of an investment in people and making sure that people who've gone through something that's extraordinarily horrific, that we show empathy. And the empathy is to make sure that we're able to provide for them in their time of need. I will say this, I do like the approach about having a board of directors or, you know, 3 people doing an analysis. You may not have all the answers today, but what your proven track record has showed me clearly is that you've been able to perform and you've been able to help a lot of people. And so I just really want to thank you, and I think what you've done to uplift people is really something special. So thank you.
Again, I appreciate that. And you're right. We have a pretty good track record. We're not going to screw it up here. Another point of reference that I have actually bragged about to this body before, we don't have any overhead in our foundation. Nobody gets paid. Everybody is a volunteer work. The only overhead we have is the insurance that is mandatory we have to purchase, and the cost of credit card processing that donors provide on our website, and a web hosting. So 99.5% of what you provide goes to the program.
Thank you. I believe Supervisor Mueller had some comments.
So I'm gonna be honest, I know it's clear between you guys. It's not totally clear to me right now. Well, can I make a suggestion that I don't want? Well, my suggestion would be that there seems to be someone missing, and that's Dr. Moreno. That this come back with him present to talk to us. With her back to talk to us.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to move the item. And so I wouldn't mind, I think your suggestion is a good suggestion. I do think that conversation can take place. I could see if, you know, Mr. Hatami didn't have a sort of a record of success and performance. Our staff has evaluated all the criteria. The staff has allowed us to move this forward through the county attorney's office. So I have no issue with moving this item forward.
Okay, thank you. I would like to, before I ask for a second, I'd also like to say that, just very honestly, I have some concerns about the performance measures for this item as well. My understanding is that this is an endowment and that the scholarship funds that actually get to recipients are just the capital gains and not the full $100,000. And so I'm not comfortable with the amount of time that it would take for survivors to actually get these scholarships. So having said that, is there a second on this item?
The motion dies.
Okay, so
So are we taking a vote on this? We're bifurcating and we're taking a vote on this one first?
well, there was a motion on this one already.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we haven't
let's go
taken
to
public comment on
Let's go to
anything.
public
as
comment.
So, yeah, we're going to take public comment on all 3.
All right, we don't have any speaker cards in chambers, so we'll go ahead and go to Zoom for comments.
Thank you. At this time, we are taking comments for items 4, 5, and 6. So please go ahead and raise your hand in Zoom if you have comments for those 3 items. Again, this is for districts, Measure K items District 2 and District 4 and District 5. Those are items 4, 5, and 6. We have 3 hands raised at this time. Catherine Carter, followed by Sabrina. Catherine, please unmute and begin.
Yes. I'm Catherine Carter, one of the people petitioning to redress grievances. Any money that goes to any group. In particular, if the gentleman just spoke, the tragedy was due to a lack of a moral underpinning of the perpetrator on his child. So education of any kind of services is defined as this: within the meaning of a statute relative to the powers and duties of guardians. This term comprehends and merely the instruction received at school or college, but the whole course of training, moral, intellectual, and physical. Education may be particularly directed to either the mental, moral, or physical powers and faculties, but it is broadest and best sense. It relates to them all. And that is a component of our Republican form of government. We're guaranteed that John Adams said it makes no sense to anyone but religious and moral men. So morality has got to be part of this, and that has to do with restoring our Republican form of government. Otherwise, the whole thing is void, and you just recycle licentiousness.
Thank you, Catherine. We'll now go to Sabrina, followed by Michelle Stevens. And again, reminder, this is for items 4, 5, and 6, so please do identify which item you're speaking on. Sabrina, please unmute and begin.
This is for all items. I come as one of the people, Surrey Jews, who hold all political power. I am invoking my constitutional right of redress written in Article 1, Section 3 of the California Constitution and instructing my servants not to interrupt or deprive me of my constitutional right of grievance. In California Constitution, Article 9, Section 1, it states, a general diffusion of knowledge and intelligence being essential to the preservation of rights and liberties of the people. The legislature shall encourage by all suitable means the promotion of
Sabrina,
intellectual,
unless you have
scientific,
comments
moral,
related to the agenda
and
items, we're going to move on.
shut the fuck up and let
I'm
me
sorry.
talk.
Please mute the
Because
mic.
you do not
Please
have
mute
the
the
right
mic.
to interrupt.
Acceptable to mute?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we will be.
We'll go to the next speaker.
Yes.
Okay. We will now go to, actually, let's see, Michelle Stevens. Please unmute and begin.
Hello, board. I come to
think we
you as
lost
one of the
Michelle.
people.
What happened?
I do want to let you guys know, I know that you all probably feel like we're against you when we come to you with Constitution, but we're not. We're really for you. We want a good government. We want our government to abide by their powers. You just went and changed a rule just then on a whim. Y'all are so unconstitutional. To deny someone to be able to redress grievance is unconstitutional. I do implore that you all do go back to the Constitution. You could do good work even
Michelle,
through the Constitution. You
please make
don't
your
have to
comments
throw it to
related
the
to the
side
agenda items.
to be able to do good work. You can do good work through the Constitution. And that's what I want. I want every board across the nation to do good, but they've got to do it by the Constitution. You can't just do what you want to do.
Madam
There's
President,
rules
again,
even
this
for
comment
board
doesn't pertain to
members.
any of the 3
You
agenda
have to.
items that are
And yes,
under
my
consideration
comment
right now.
does go along with what was said. It does go along with what was said.
Ms.
I
Stevens,
lost my daughter due to COVID. I know the pain of losing someone. And you all can make a difference. But everything you're doing right now is null and void. Go back to the Constitution, please, and be a good leader, not a bad one.
okay,
Thank you for letting me speak.
thank you. Just a reminder, please do speak to the items that are before you and adhere to the time on the screen, which is 1 minute and 30 seconds at this time. We will now go to Aaron Bloom. And Ms. President, we do have 2 additional speakers.
So just as a reminder, if we see 5 hands up, then we would like then it's 1 minute for the speakers. I think at this point we've passed 5, But because that wasn't clear, let's keep it at the 1 minute and 30 seconds. So just going forward, please be more mindful of that.
Okay, great. Aaron, please unmute and begin.
Good morning. I don't have anything to contribute on this item. I'm just observing. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go to Bruce Johnson. Please unmute. It looks like Bruce dropped off.
Okay, is that all of public comment?
Yes, that concludes public comment.
Thank you. We will now return to the board. I believe there was one motion that was made. I did not hear a second, so that motion does not move forward.
Great, thank you so much. Mr. Hatami, I just really want to thank you for being here, and I appreciate your comments. Sometimes things don't work out what you planned, but at the end of the day, we all have to live with our conscience and our decision. But just thank you for showing up, okay? Thank you.
Can I make a comment? Because I think
Supervisor Gaucher,
Supervisor Mueller also said, could we bring this back with additional support? I think there are just a few questions. This is your Measure K dollars, and it's on a reimbursement model, so I don't understand. I don't think that you get the money right away, but I think there were some additional questions. So instead of allowing it to die, I would recommend that we invite Ms. Moreno back with you to get a better understanding of what this item actually is. Are you okay with that?
I'm fine with bringing the item back. This is something that's new to me. I've been on the board for 9 years, but if this board chooses to bring the item back with Ms. Moreno, I'm more than willing to do that.
Well,
I don't want it to die. It's important.
I think it's it's his discretionary Measure K, so it's completely up to Supervisor Canepa if he wants to bring it back. So I asked for it to try to be helpful, but it's not my Measure K item, so I can't compel it be brought back.
Can we bring it back?
So I just want to add that some of the concerns I had again were, it is an endowment. How much is going to survivors and when would be very helpful. So, I think for us, we are a board that wants to help survivors. But if my understanding is correct, this $100,000 would sit in an endowment fund, and only the capital gains would go out on a yearly basis. And so that would take however many years to fully get out to the community, the full $100,000. So if I'm not correct, I think Dr. Moreno could potentially clarify that for us, and so I'm completely open to this item coming back as well with more clarity and better performance measures.
I guess I would say, in fairness, it probably would have been incumbent on me to have better kind of anticipated what some of the questions might have been. So we could, if Supervisor Canepa wanted us to certainly work with the staff to kind of better vet out some of these things that, frankly, maybe I should have caught ahead of time to avoid some of this conversation.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, John. You're not responsible. I'm sorry. I appreciate you taking accountability. So, my thought on this is, we should probably bring it back, but for you to sort of lay on the sword on an issue that was fully vetted through your staff, while appreciated, it was unnecessary. So thank you.
Okay. Well, in any event, we'll work with your staff. Madam President, we'll work with Supervisor Canepa's staff to vet out some of these issues and have it better prepared for you all.
Okay, thank you. Regarding item 4 and 5, we need to vote on those. Number 4 was the Empowerment Through Action grant through District 2. Do I have a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Thank you. Motion by Gaucher. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mueller. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Spear?
Aye.
Supervisor Mueller?
Yes.
Supervisor Gaucher?
Yes.
Supervisor Canepa?
No.
President Corzo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, and moving on to item 5, which is $30,000 to Casa Círculo Cultural for their their participation in the Center of Creativity. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Thank you, Supervisor Gaucher with the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mueller. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Spear,
Aye.
Supervisor Mueller,
Yes.
Supervisor Gaucher,
Yes.
Supervisor Canepa,
No.
President Corzo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. We are now moving on to item number 11. And I'm happy to introduce this item. This item is the official 2026 Board of Supervisors Committee assignments. And the action on this item would be to accept the 2026 Board of Supervisors Committee assignments that the board president, aka I, put together with input from all supervisors. And just for some context, each year the board president is tasked with assigning supervisors to represent the board and this county on various boards, commissions, and committees, as well as be liaisons to many of our county commissions. Traditionally, the board president creates a list, as I have done, and this list is approved on the consent agenda. I've pulled it because I'd like to share some of the process that I went through in making these assignments. And while we may make some small adjustments, I want the board to be fully informed of the many hours of research and consideration that has gone into making this list. So last November, in anticipation of becoming board president, I reached out to each supervisor to and requested that they submit requests for assignments, any time conflicts, which commissions were important and relevant to their districts, and other information for consideration. I was hoping to get comprehensive and nuanced input, and we then took this information along with every single committee assignment on the list and created a spreadsheet to create a time audit of how many hours per month each supervisor was required of each supervisor for their current meeting assignments. And so with the goal of ensuring that there is an equitable distribution of time so that no one supervisor has, 20, 30, 40 plus hours of work while another has 10. And so not all committee assignments require the same amount of time and attention. Some are just 2 meetings a year. Some are 2 or more per month. And to my understanding, this time audit has never been done in this way. And I think it was very informative. And it is a tool that I hope will be used in the future, just so that any future board presidents can have this information at the ready for when they make their decisions about assignments. So my team and I analyzed the number, length, and frequency of meetings each year, how many evening meetings each of us would get, stipend amounts for certain assignments, and other considerations. And there was a lot of balance that went into this. And no one supervisor, not even myself, got every single thing that I wanted on my list. And so my team and I really did our best to attempt to spread the work equitably while making sure that no one supervisor carries a load heavier than another. And with that, I want to end by saying that it's not possible for each supervisor to get every single assignment that they want, but it is my goal that every single one of us has assignments that meet their needs in terms of topics that they're passionate about, that they can contribute significantly on, and that they're proud to represent the county on. And so with that, I'm happy to take any comments from supervisors. Supervisor Mueller.
Yeah, so thank you, President Corzo. So the first thing I want to say is regarding the revisions that came out from the first draft to last night. I had actually received a call from a senior board member at Peninsula Clean Energy who asked me to come back, because had been there 2 years prior. And I also know that it isn't entirely convenient for Supervisor Canepa. So I appreciate that revision to the item, and I'm happy to be coming back on Peninsula Clean Energy. I also want to thank Supervisor Gaucher. I was very interested in serving on the Emergency Services Council, and I'm grateful to see that added to my list. But I know that that was something that was probably hard to let go for Supervisor Gaucher. She did good work there, so I appreciate that. I wanted to indicate a revision that isn't on here that I'd like to go ahead and make in the meeting. Is I served on the health plan of San Mateo for 3 years now, and was welcomed being joined last year by Supervisor Spear there. And I know how much she contributes and to that, and how much she's valued there. So I'm happy to go ahead and offer at this point my board seat at the health plan of San Mateo to Supervisor Spear, and to balance the work, take the Transportation Authority, if she is so willing. All that being said, I'd say to my colleagues, I'm very happy with the list if all of that works out to do the work. But I did want to note that next year I probably will be looking for some changes, because I will have 12 out of 17 of my committees that will be meeting at night. But my staff and I are up to the challenge of that, and we love our committee assignments. Something very unusual about District 3 is I have a number of committees that are required that I be on them, and all of them meet at night. So when we add to it, it adds to what we're doing. But nonetheless, if Supervisor Spear, if you're open to that, you're that. So we'll go ahead and offer that change now, that I'll be taking the Transportation Authority and giving up Health Plan of San Mateo. And I appreciate the work that everyone went into this, and your office went into pulling this together. President Corzo.
Okay. I think Supervisor Spear is amenable to that change, and I honestly am not happy for you that you have so many night meetings. That's what I was trying to avoid for every single supervisor. But if you are willing to make that sacrifice, I will not stand in your way.
We love the work, so we really do love the subject matter work that we're getting. So we're happy to do it. Next year, though, we might be a little tired, so we'll figure it out.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
Yes.
Supervisor Spear.
Thank you. I would hope that as we think about this in the future, it's advantageous for us to serve on these committees for more than 1 year. I was being removed from a number of committees in which I've only served a year, and I don't think that's in the best interest of our communities or the organizations on which we serve. So I'm delighted to be restored to the Health Plan of San Mateo. I appreciate the fact that I've been restored to the Child Care Partnership Council. As you know, child care is a very passionate issue for me. I'd like to point out, however, that, excuse me, that you've placed me on the Behavioral Health Commission, which meets at the same time as the SamTrans board meeting. So that's a conflict, and I would not be able to do that, obviously. So that would have to be taken on by someone else.
Let me interrupt you for a quick second. So I actually served on the Behavioral Health Commission for 1 year, my first year. And last year, actually, I had 3 conflicting meetings at the same time as well, and for the entire year. And Behavioral Health Commission does allow you to send one of your staff in your place. And so I'm hopeful that you can make it work.
Fine. That's fine. And I understand that Supervisor Canepa would prefer not to be on first 5. Is that correct? So that was a committee assignment that I had, and I'll be happy to take that back.
Could I ask then, if Supervisor Canepa's had lost Peninsula Clean Energy yesterday and is now having first 5 taken away, would you take San Francisco Creek.
I can't. So let me speak to a little bit about first five. And I didn't want to bring this up, but I'm going to have to bring it up. In terms of childcare, literally the only provider. My wife works different hours. I can't. I have pickup. There's certain things that I have to do. The reason I chose in Supervisor Spear, thank you, the 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., I literally pick up my son every day. I just don't have the opportunity to do night meetings. You've put me with the most meetings here. That's fine. I have 12. A lot of people have 8. They have 9. For me, if I could do it at night, I would. I just can't. And so all I'm asking, thank you, Supervisor Spear, for taking it. It'd be rather ironic for me to take first five when I just really, to be quite frank with you, I have my son. He's 8 years old. If he was older, maybe I could get away with it. But I provide his child care. You know, child care is expensive at night. I've looked into it, so I'm sorry. Can't do it.
So I'm going to go back to San Francisco Creek. It actually meets at 3 o'clock.
Can I say something about
Yeah.
San Francisco Creek? We don't even appoint San Francisco Creek. It comes out of One Shoreline. So the board from One Shoreline will identify who will represent San Francisco Creek. So maybe
Okay.
there's someone else on our board.
Okay, that's great. I appreciate that clarification.
So, my concern, and as I stated before, my team and I put a lot of thought into balancing time. And first five was one that you were given because you needed to have another assignment, so you would have about the same amount of time as every other supervisor. That's very important to me as president. While your list may be a little bit longer, many of the items on your list meet once a year, maybe twice a year. And so in terms of per month hourly commitments, you actually have less than most other supervisors. And, I'm not done.
Okay.
I want to just say that many of us have served on city councils while raising young children. And so I don't think that anyone here is not sympathetic to your situation. We want to be a family-friendly board. That being said, as someone who raised a young child while serving on a school board that met at night, there are ways to make that work. We are pretty decently paid on this board, and I don't think that any supervisor should be exempt from having at least one night meeting. And so I would ask the rest of the board to consider that. And, being that you have concerns about young children, I would say, why not take that to first five and support that commission?
Great. May I speak? Supervisor
ahead.
Spear, if you're happy to take it, that would really be great for me.
I think we need to accommodate each other.
Thank you.
I'm happy to take it.
Okay, there's one thing that's missing from my list, and that's the Home for All Steering Committee. Hope IAC has gone away, but I'd like to place Home for All Steering Committee back on my list as well.
My understanding was that was disbanded. So
That was Hope IAC. Home for All, the steering committee is still meeting. We just had a meeting in December.
Okay.
To the chair.
Okay, so we will. So you have been on that one. I think that's okay. That does put you at more hours. And again, Supervisor Canepa is now at less hours. This is what I was hoping to avoid because
Through the
we're
chair.
making changes on the spot that are impacting the equitable distribution of work amongst our board.
Through the chair,
so-
I think I have the solution. If it's okay with Ms. Spear, I can take the Behavioral Health Commission off your plate, and if that's okay with you, and we could, that sort of evens it out. If you're okay with that, okay.
Okay. I do want to say just one thing. So I appreciate where we're going to land this year, and there's no reason to keep going over it. Next year, though, Supervisor Canepa, I do empathize with President Corzo, who as a single mom was able to make night meetings work. I think my office is carrying 12 out of 17 night meetings. Next year when we make assignments, should you be here, I do think it's going to be something that we look at.
Okay. I so just for the sake of clarity, shall we go through the list of changes that we have made?
Did you staff document the changes?
I think we probably need to recap them just to make sure that all of us are in the same place.
Okay, so Behavioral Health Commission goes from Supervisor Spear to Supervisor Canepa. First 5 goes from Supervisor Canepa back to Supervisor Spear. Oh man, I lost the other one.
Health Plan of
TA
San
goes to
Mateo.
Ray.
TA goes to me, and Health Plan of San Mateo goes to Supervisor Spear.
That's right. And let me look at my notes just to make sure there's nothing.
And we added Home for All Steering Committee back to my.
Yes, and Home for All is back to Supervisor Gaucher. And let's see. Okay, I think those are the changes. Was that clear?
Yep.
Madam President, I think I'm tracking. I just want to make sure so that we can reflect the documents correctly. Behavioral Health Commission is with Supervisor Canepa at this point. First 5 is with Supervisor Spear. Health Plan of San Mateo. Health Plan of San Mateo is with Supervisor Spear. PCE is with Supervisor Mueller. Home for All is with Supervisor Gaucher.
And Transportation Authority is with Supervisor Mueller.
Transportation Authority with Supervisor Mueller. Thank you. And those are all of the changes from the document that's been posted. We'll make sure those changes get reflected in the in the final document.
Okay, and I believe we still need a vote on this, or are we bringing it back?
I think we're ready for a vote, and I'm trying to recall. Did we take public comment on this matter?
I don't think so. So public comment, please.
All right, I don't have any speaker cards for chambers, so we'll go to Zoom.
Okay, we're now taking public comment for item 11 on Zoom. We have 3 hands raised. Sabrina, followed by Michelle Stevens. Sabrina, please unmute and begin.
I come as one of the people, jurists who hold all political power. Congratulations on committing another felony. I'm invoking my constitutional right of redress under Article 1, Section 3 of the Constitution and instructing my servants not to interrupt me or deprive me of my constitutional right of grievance. All these boards and funding given to special classes is repugnant to the constitutions, also making all null and void with the deprivation of inalienable rights of the people as written in the Constitution. However, you will rubber stamp these as usual, but it'll be investigated along with the other questionable funding and these non-governmental organizations, you and your private partners who act as your agents. There is no plausible deniability as you're knowingly and willfully complicit in this malfeasance. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go to Michelle Stevens. And Madam President, we are at 4 hands raised, including the speaker that just spoke. So we will keep it at 1.5 minutes unless a 5th person or more joins.
I think because the first speaker already had 1 minute, we should continue with that for this item.
That's great. Okay.
To be fair.
Michelle, please unmute and begin.
Hello, I come to you as one of the people. Number one thing on the agenda is that you're trying to time me out, and that is unconstitutional. Number 2 on the agenda is you're spending all this money, and what, you think it's just affecting that one area? You think it just affects California? It doesn't. The more money you all funnel, the more money that you all waste, the more money our taxes goes up across the nation. What you do and what you say with the power that you have affects everyone. I am here to kindly remind you, you swore an oath to the Constitution, not to an NGO, not to a friend, not to anything else but the Constitution. And I implore you to please stick to the Constitution, because when you don't, all you do is set people up for failure, including yourself. Thank you for letting me speak.
And I'm going to give a gentle reminder to the speakers to please make your comments relevant to the agenda item. The current agenda item are 2026 Board of Supervisors committee assignments. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go to Sid Young, followed by Pat W. Sid, please unmute and begin.
Thank you. I guess all the Surrey jurist people get to talk. And what I really wanted to talk was on the agenda item. I really want to appreciate the fact that you put Ray Mueller on the Emergency Services Council group, because in the past they haven't had anybody who represents the Mid-Coast on that group. The county Mid is unincorporated, and we don't get a seat at that table. Usually it's the 20 cities. And the most important thing they did last year was the April meeting had the AI emergency evacuation. And that never really got discussed once it left the Emergency Services Council. And they never really brought it to the coast side. The captain of the sheriff's department didn't bring it to the MCC. And
Please
Deborah
wrap up,
Ruddick
Sid. You're over time.
I'm sorry, everybody else has to talk about non-agenda items. And Half Moon Bay
First
didn't even
warning
know
given.
about it. So it'd be nice to have somebody who's on the committee that knows what the Mid-Coast is all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Sid.
Sorry.
Pat W., followed by Bruce. Pat, please unmute and begin.
Thank you. I believe many of you members of the Board of Supervisors know that I spend a lot of time doing volunteering on behavioral health services committees and attending many of the BHRS commission meetings. So I'm glad to hear that Mr. Canepa has taken up the gauntlet again. I think it's helpful to have consecutive years with the same supervisor. As much as I miss Noelia Corzo being on the Behavioral Health Service Commission because of family experiences and so forth. And Jackie Rugoni, a friend of mine who also attended those meetings at one point. But I'm happy to see that Mr. Canepa has signed up again. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll go to Bruce. Please unmute Bruce and begin.
Hello, board. Thank you for the mic. And yes, Bruce Johnson, come to you as sui juris, one of the people. And, when I come to you as one of the people, I not only come for myself, but I come for you and you and you and you and all of the lovely people out there, right? So, it's important. We got equal protection here. 14th Amendment, Article 1, Section 7. California Constitution guarantees equal protection of the laws. That requires you guys to act through neutral
Bruce,
rules
please
applied
speak on the
uniformly.
agenda item.
Yeah, this does apply to this. When you guys make decisions, you guys need to apply equal protection, right? Think it out and use the Constitution, to make sure that, and crack the Bible open too. That might help you. Thank you.
Thank you. No further comments, Madam President.
Okay, bringing it back to the board for final discussion. I just wanted to add some thoughts on this as well. In our time audit, we also took the time to go to every committee assignment that had an official website and review minutes. And I just want to say that it is expected that supervisors who are assigned to committees at least make half of the meetings. And so it is something that we will be reviewing on a regular basis. I understand things happen, but if there is a committee assignment and a supervisor hasn't attended a single meeting all year, that is a problem and will be addressed if needed. Any other comments from my colleagues?
it's okay with you, I'd like to move approval of the committee assignments.
Thank you, thank you, Supervisor Gaucher with the motion. Supervisor Campbell with the second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Spear?
Aye.
Supervisor Mueller?
Yes.
Supervisor Gaucher?
Yes.
Supervisor Canepa?
Yes.
President Corzo?
Yes.
Motion passes with moving the Health Commission from Supervisors Mueller to Supervisor Spear, moving of the Transportation Authority from Spear to Mueller, First Five Commission from Supervisor Canepa to Supervisor Spear, Behavioral Health goes from Spear to Canepa, Municipal Clean Energy to Mueller, and then adding the Home for All Steering Committee to Supervisor Gaucher.
Thank you. And I believe we are now. Are we going to closed session?
Yes, Madam President, we have a closed
We
session.
are adjourning to closed session, and we will report back out of closed session.
It turns out that we won't have anything to report
Okay,
out.
we will not report
Yes,
back from
thank
closed
you.
session, but we do adjourn later.
No,
No,
we
we are
will adjourn
adjourning
now, and we
now.
will not return.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, Madam President.
So our meeting is adjourned at 11:58.
The time is now 11:58, and the board is adjourning to closed session.